adrenaline do you get on a day, on a morning where you know you've got a huge game in the evening?
Oh man, I woke up with a big smile on my face this morning at like 8 a.m. I don't usually get up that early and feeling that good. So that just tells you what it is right there. It's a great day. We got a big game ahead of us, and I'm just excited to get on the court. And I can tell that's the vibe for everybody up in this gym. Everybody just can't wait for this game tonight. It's going to be a great challenge, but it's also a great opportunity. So I'm excited.
You played postseason basketball here before last year, but how does a playing game differ from a playoff game where it's winning it and not?
Yeah, this more like college right here. Back to that one and done. You know, one opportunity. Well, obviously, it's not really, but you know, it's one game where pretty much like it's all the marbles pretty much. So I think for us, we gotta come locked in out the gates, and we can't take this opportunity for granted. It's not a situation where we can lose one, lose two. You know, all right, still a 7-game series. It's one game. We got to be locked.
Is that something that you want yourself, your teammates to kind of lean into a little bit, or is that something where you kind of want to just acknowledge it as part of the game, but just focus more on playing your style of basketball?
I don't think we need to get caught up in treating this like this game is different than the rest because we're a really good team. We know how to win big games. We've been in situations like this before. I just think for us we got to stay locked. We can't treat this situation differently just because what the situation is. Obviously, if we lose this, we'll have another opportunity, but our season could be cut short. So I think for us, we gotta treat this like it's another game, and I mean that in the best possible way. We got to be ready to play from that 12 minutes in the first quarter to that 0 seconds in that fourth quarter. So I think it's a great opportunity. I'm excited, and I know PZ Vert over here excited too. You see?
Knowing the opponent, knowing that it's just one game, what has the preparation been like up to this point?
Yeah, I mean, this is the team we've played. This is going to be our 5th time playing them this year. I mean, the team I'm very familiar with. I've been playing them since my rookie year. I mean, I think a couple seasons we played them like preseason games, and they still got the same. Their main guy is still obviously Trey, and so it's gonna start with him. And I'm excited, man. This is gonna be a fun game. I've never been in a playing game, so I'm just excited for the environment. I know Orlando's gonna show out. I know we're gonna have some great fans in there tonight, and just excited for a good time and to get a dub.
How disruptive is Dyson Daniels?
Dyson Daniels, I mean, look, I can't remember the last time I seen someone averaging over 3 steals a game. So that's impressive, man. He's a heck of a player, and he's obviously a dude we want to keep out of a lot of actions, but he has a great challenge ahead of him tonight too. We got 2 all-stars on our team who, that's what they do on the offensive side. As much as he's as great as he is on the defensive side, as great as they are on the offensive side. So I mean, it's gonna be a great challenge, but it's gonna be a fun one.
Paolo, you're a guy who's loves to play in big moments. You even have that reflected with a tattoo. But how do you approach a game like the one tonight with the winner advancing to the playoffs?
I think you just gotta approach it like a championship game. It's only one game, so it's not a series or anything. So you can't really ease your way into it or get a feel for it. You got to be ready to go from the tip. So I think I'm looking to give 110% effort and do whatever it takes to get the win.
Knowing that and knowing the opponent, what has the preparation been like at this point?
It's been detailed, I would say. Team that we've played a lot this year. We're familiar with them, but you don't know what adjustments they may make or what they might try to throw at you. So trying to just be ready for whatever that could be, but also not overthinking it and being too concerned with what they're doing and more focused on what we have to do to get the win.
You talked throughout the course of the season about how much of the experience last year going into the playoffs has kind of helped you guys navigate this season. Now that you're in this kind of a game, how much does thinking about or kind of going through that playoff experience? I know it's not a series. You guys were in Game 7 and kind of do it by Game 7. I'm not sure you've been deep in NCAA tournament games. How much does that experience and those kinds of pressure games where everything's on the line help in preparing for tonight?
I mean, this is a Game 7 type of game. Like I said, it's one game to decide, where we are, where we end up. So you have to approach it as such. And like I said, there's not a really time to get a feel. You kind of just have to be, ready to fight from the start. So I'm excited, and I think going through the Game 7 last year and everyone have playing in big games before, I'm sure it'll help everybody. But it's a different type of game playing. None of us have been in the playing, so I'm looking forward to it. Just getting out there and competing.
Kind of on that topic, Cole just kind of likened it to an NCAA tournament game almost, where it's kind of winning in and one game for all the marbles in that sense. Do you guys kind of want to lean into that a little bit, or try not to get too caught up in that?
I mean, that is the reality. It is one game. Like I said, that if you win, you're the 7th seed. If you lose, you got to fight for the 8th seed and play another game. So the NCAA tournament, Game 7, whatever you want to compare it to, it's a do or die type of game, and I think everyone's going to be ready.
Is there a benefit to playing a team like Atlanta, a team you've played so many times this season?
Yeah, I think there's benefits, and I think there's some things that maybe that could we've played them 4 times, and they may look to change some stuff up. You never know. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a team that we're familiar with. We play them 4 times a year, and we've had good games, good battles. So not expecting it to be a blowout or anything. It's going to be a tough game, and we just got to be ready to play 48 minutes. Don't expect them to lay down and just give us a win.
What stood out to you about Reese?
About Reese Shea from the Hawks. Yeah, I think he's just a good player. He's only a rookie, so you see some of that just in his play. But I think he's a good size on the wing, good shooter, knows how to play. He's not he doesn't play the game selfishly or anything like that. I think he fits really well with what they try to do and how they play. And yeah, he's a good first year player for sure.
Disruptive is Dyson Daniels.
Yeah, he's really good. I think he's actually gotten a lot better as a defender. Just this year in particular, kind of after that trade happened, they kind of let him play more of a bigger role in Atlanta than he was in New Orleans, and I think he stepped into it really nicely. Leads the league in steals, and he's a pest on that end. So you definitely have to be cautious of him. You can't play with the ball around him. You got to be sharp with your passes because he is lurking. I think he averages 3 steals a game, so definitely have to keep an eye for him.
Playing on a team that's known for its defense, do you have an added layer of respect for someone like him who defends as hard as he does?
Daniels, I mean, yeah, if you can get 3 steals a game in the NBA, I mean, that's pretty impressive. No one can really talk down about that. Playing defense is probably one of the hardest things to do in the NBA, and so a guy like that who is able to collect those steals and shut guys down, you got to give him his credit.